Hi, everyone. Yeah, nice to virtually kind of connect with everyone. I can't see any faces, unfortunately, but so hi to everyone that I used to work with and know, and welcome and hi to new faces as well. So thanks, Belinda and OIPC, for inviting the Canadian Council. I understand that Gail, our chair, also touched base this morning, so that's great. So I'm just going to briefly go over some things for CCIS. So not a too long of a presentation, but I think it'll just provide a quick update on our progress. And I did present quite lengthy last year, so if you guys have any other questions after, you can reach out to me if I don't cover everything. So yeah, we'll just, let's see, move forward, my next slide here, if I can get it moving. Oh, okay, there we go. Phew. Yeah, so just a brief update here. As most of you know, the Canadian Council is a federally registered not-for-profit initiated in 2008. So really, as I mentioned multiple times before, collectively kind of a group of agencies from across Canada called for a strong national and inclusive organization that could serve as a national voice and really link perspectives from across Canada. So today we're actually guided by a 4-chamber board. So that includes directors made up of 4 chambers. So government, which includes provincial, territorial, and federal, Indigenous organizations, industry and business, and also invasive species, not-for-profit organizations. Really the vision of our organization and enforced by our board is that Canada and its biodiversity are protected from invasive species. Our mission is really to serve as that national voice to encourage action from Canadians and really change from the grassroots level to the national level to prevent the introduction, establishment, and spread of invasive species. As you can see there, that's just a quick snapshot of our 2020 board of directors from our virtual meeting there. So it's a good way to be able to take a photo without everyone getting together in person. So this is just a quick snapshot of the logos of the organizations that sit on our board. As you can see, the Ontario Invasive Plant Council sits on our board, and they really do play a key role as one of our not-for-profit invasive species organizations on our board. As you can see, it's fairly diverse, and really our board has really driven the success of the organization in the recent years. So again, probably just a bit of a reminder for everyone, but really what we do is we do work with partners to deliver tools and resources across Canada that enable Canadians to take action and prevent the spread of invasive species. So as most of you are probably aware, our focus is really a lot on pathways, things like firewood, horticulture, aquatic and terrestrial recreation. And as we grow and progress and come across new pathways, we'll expand that, include that where we can. Again, through our board, and I'll touch on our chapters, we're trying to link everyone together. I just see a note about, oh, I think I can hide, yes, there we go. I can hide the share screen thing. Okay, so again, another big pillar of what we do is our behavior change programs, which I'll touch on towards the end of the presentation, and also improving coordination within Canada, but also across borders. So that includes hosting multiple events like workshops, national events, and international events as well, which I'll also talk about. So that's a big part of us, as well as connecting people together through information sharing through events. So I really wanted to spend a couple minutes on talking about our chapters, because that is really a focus of ours in the past year and a half, and it's grown substantially. And OIPC is a part of our chapter network and plays an integral role in that chapters network. So this is fairly new, so I don't know if I would have touched on this last year, but a chapter for us is defined as a provincial or territorial not-for-profit or charitable organization that is essentially considered that provinces or territories invasive species council, and really has a core mandate of helping to reduce the spread and impacts of invasive species within their jurisdiction. So again, going back to that same theme, across all provincial and territorial councils, there was that strong desire to build that collaboration network and build efficiencies in programs like share resources, reduce duplication, stay connected as the theme of this event as well. So our goal as CCIS is to build that strong national inclusive voice that supports and links the range of these organizations from across Canada. Again, kind of repeating the same thing there, but now we've kind of facilitated through the chapters network that we've developed and really has grown and strengthened in the last year and a half. Another specific goal is to have a chapter recognized in each province or territory and or region, but ideally each province and territory. So as you can see on the screen there, we have 8 official registered chapters, including the Ontario Invasive Plant Council. On the docket is 2 other invasive species councils, and then as we're finalizing our 2021 action plan, our goal is to obtain possibly 3 more chapters, including the territories moving forward. Again, I would just like to point out though, however, we don't want to alienate any organization within a territory that may not be an official council. So we do include them in the chapters network. So we've actually made headway by including the Northwest Territories, for example, that isn't an official registered not-for-profit, but they're involved in our chapters network, so we can at least stay connected. So again, as I mentioned, we've made significant progress regarding growing and collaborating with chapters. Again, OIPC is one of our official chapters. Most recently, our objective has to support the growth and strength of these existing chapters and councils, facilitate regular dialogue across chapters on mutual and strategic operational issues, and work together to enhance the coordination and delivery of invasive species education and awareness campaigns. So we've kind of facilitated that through some specific actions, like we've established quarterly meetings with chapters and with periodic meetings in between if necessary. We've worked one-on-one with chapters like OIPC to apply for collaborative funding grants. We've established a communication platform for chapters as well to support information sharing, easy access to resources, kind of like quick chats between the chapters, resulting in things like reduced duplication, resource sharing, more partnership opportunities. Just again to reiterate, our meetings have really resulted in significant dialogue around resource development. Like we're really making headway on collective ideas around resources and awareness campaigns funding, and also overall organization sustainability. We also have recently been providing some operational support to some specific chapters that don't necessarily have the capacity at this time, so to facilitate things like hiring and admin, etc. So kind of wrapping up on the chapters, we're really a quickly growing organization ourselves, the Canadian Council, and key partners like the chapters and like OIPC are really key to our growth, and we really look forward to moving forward and expanding the chapters even more. I just wanted to touch really briefly on kind of an update on our model for collaboration, really brief. Just kind of some key pillars of our model for collaboration. Of course, our board of directors, our chapters that I just went through. We also form specific advisory working groups. We've kind of tailored that recently to form more smaller, more efficient, specific working groups to address certain needs within the organization, mostly for around our national behavior change program development, and then also collaborate on national events as well. So just briefly, I'm going to touch on a little update on our behavior change programs. So I've just kind of snapshotted some of our behavior change program logos and then some text there for our other programs. So briefly regarding Play Clean Go, Be Wise, and Buy Local, Burn Local, as you'll see on our website, and I touched on this last year as well, we do have a number of great adaptable and tailorable resources available online, but we are kind of in the midst of kind of reviewing the status of our behavior change programs, identifying where we need to grow, what resources we need, reaching out to partners for that, and kind of identifying where we need to improve the partnership structure for these programs. But they are key programs still. As you'll see, they address very key pathways spreading invasive species. So our focus is still really strong on behavior change, but we're going to kind of address where we need to go. Our Clean Drain Dry BC 3-year pilot is almost complete. That was a highly successful pilot in BC. We had over 70 partners participate and install over 360 signs, and 15 resources were created. So most of those resources on our website, but we are again identifying how we expand that nationally in the coming weeks. Don't Let It Loose is another kind of key program. We've worked closely with the National Aquatic Invasive Species Committee. They've developed some aquatic Don't Let It Loose resources, and so we're identifying how we expand that and work it into our organization and how we address terrestrial, the terrestrial pathway as well. And then community science and youth is really important to us as well. We held a very successful community science workshop last March, almost a year, crazy. So we want to grow that. We heard extensive feedback on growing that. And also youth, we actually just completed a very small contract with an organization called Taking It Global, in which we engaged and actually had 5 youth apply through us for a micro grant to do invasive species work. So building on that moving forward is important to us. Briefly, just touching on events, mostly just one event. I'm sure you've seen a save the date for the 2021 North American Invasive Species Forum. We've updated that save the date to be virtual because it will be virtual in May. And we're coordinating that with US and Mexico representatives. But we're really excited for that. Hopefully registration out by the end of January with a preliminary agenda. And I think it's going to be a really successful event. So stay tuned for more information. If you're not signed up to our newsletter, you can sign up through our website. And then also just briefly wanted to touch on National Invasive Species Awareness Week. Last year, we held our first kind of official one based on feedback from our partners who wanted one held in May. So mind the date there, that's an old date. But we're going to continue hosting one every May, and we've also identified that there is a need to participate in, obviously a good need to participate in the February one as well. So you'll see some information coming out from us on that, mostly focused on webinars and information sharing. And then the spring one does align with our national forum, as you'll see with information coming out, but we find that is going to be a benefit. We're going to direct people to the forum, but also there'll be some pre-planned resources shared. The spring week is really focused on action and being outdoors, and hopefully it does align well with the situation that we're in to get people socially distanced outside and active. So stay tuned for that as well. And again, I just wanted to keep it brief today. So if you have any questions through the chat, or you can reach out to me at another time. I think you're on mute, Belinda.
Do you see the questions there for you? You've got, are the clean, play clean go or clean drain dry resources available en français?
Okay, yeah. So I should have mentioned that actually. I meant to mention that. So some of them are. So we have some resources, some of the bilingual resources on our website. But I should have mentioned this. That is a key focus as well for us this year. We are a national organization and totally understand and appreciate that we need to focus on our bilingual resources and ensuring that we are keeping up with being bilingual. So that's really important to us. So you will see more resources expanded this year, and we want to make sure that we're doing it correctly. So we hope to engage bilingual representatives and helping us address that moving forward.
Kelly, something that you didn't mention was the North American meeting.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there was a slide there with a save date, and there's more information. Actually, that's what I forgot to include was our URL. So there is it's www. I can type it in there, but I just want to make sure it's the right.
And what's the date?
So it's the week of May 18th, 2021. And yeah, so the URL is, I can type it in here, www. I guess I typed in a question, but it's www.naisf2021.ca.
Okay. Thank you. Well, thank you, Kelly, for that that presentation. Thank you for that update. Since joining the board 2 years ago, the council has really grown in funding and projects and staff. And I have greatly benefited from the chapter network. This is an area, a place where I can go to discuss issues within the province that others might have already dealt with. It's an opportunity to seek synergies and sharing of resources. For everyone's information, New Brunswick's using some of our BMPs and sharing those on their website. As I alluded to earlier, BC has been sharing with us their education knowledge as they've had formal education training programs before. So things like that we can get together, talk about, learn from each other versus each of us reinventing the wheel. I've also, thank you, Kelly, for your support and assistance with the funding applications. We've been able to collaborate with OIPC as being a partner that could deliver projects in the province. And look forward to being successful with some of those and finding ways that we can work together and present consistent messaging across the country. So I think it's all about that, again, expanding our network, expanding the communication.